Hi, I'm Angela Rose, and today I'm going to give you the beginner's tutorial of the very cool, yet a little bit terrifying, table saw. I'm going to let you know what it is, what it's used for, all the parts, how to use it, more importantly, how to use it safely, no missing fingers. So what is a table saw? I know it's intimidating, but basically what it is it's a flat surface and there's a blade coming up from the flat surface. It's used for simple jobs as well as really complex ones like furniture making and cabinetry. So the main use of a table saw is ripping down boards, okay? And what that means is if you've got a giant sheet of plywood, that's really hard to manage and usually you need it cut down. This is an easy way to cut down a giant sheet of plywood. It's also helpful when ripping down an entire board, the entire length of it, okay? Like if I want this whole thing, instead of 5.5 inches, 4 inches, you just feed that sucker through it and it makes it like your own custom board. So other types of cuts that you can make with this are a cross cut, which is a cut just perpendicular. I use my miter saw for that because it's so much better. Miter saw! You can also do a dado cut, which basically is a groove in a board. People use that for cabinetry. You can do an angled cut. Again, miter saw is easier for that. And also joinery. But if you're a beginner, pretty much ripping down plywood and boards is what you're gonna be doing. Okay, now I'm gonna give you a little tour of the table saw so you intimately are acquainted with it. So the first thing is the blade. This is what cuts your material. It's got carbon tip teeth. It spins really fast, and it's gonna cut that wood. This is the table surface. It's smooth, it's what the wood rests on so that it can easily just glide through. I like to extend my table surface by adding a table behind it or something, just so that the table surface is as wide as possible. Some people even mount these inside of something so it's on just a giant table. Wouldn't that be the dream? So the term kerf, it's not necessarily something on the table saw, but what it means is it's a material that's removed from your wood as it's going through. See the blade thickness? That amount plus even a little bit more is actually removed as it goes through. So now when somebody says kerf, you're like, yeah, I know what kerf is. Okay, we've got a blade height adjuster. See this? It's going down, going up. We also can unlock it and adjust the angle. Watch this. Ooh, that looks slick. Good job, 45-degree angle. So you've got your fence as a guide, and as you run your board across it, keeping it nice and tight, it's gonna make those cuts nice and perfect and parallel. Another accessory is the blade guard. This is something that you can attach on and it helps protect your hands from the blade. And last but not least, the power switch. You're not getting anywhere without this. And safety tip, when this is not in use, turn it off, unplug it. And now for the fun part, how to use the table saw. First thing though we're gonna talk about is safety. We're going to protect our eyes because you never know what is flying around. We're going to protect our lungs and we're gonna wear a mask. I'm gonna leave this off right now so that you can actually hear me talking, but pretend this is here. It's really loud so you can protect your ears. Oh, I can't hear a thing. Your hair always goes back. You wear tight-fitting clothing so that nothing can get caught in the saw. And you're mindful of your jewelry and just anything that could hang over and get caught up in a blade. My friends, I present to you the best tool with this table saw. It is a push stick. This is going to save your fingers and allow for you to push the material through safely. Push stick, your best friend. And last but not least, you are going to keep your hands clear of the blade. No going over top, to the sides, on the other side of the fence. This push stick is what's going to be doing all of the work. We're keeping our fingers. And when you're done, turn it off, wait for the blade to come to a complete stop. And if you're adjusting or doing anything else, make sure it's turned off and unplug it. Does this help reiterate the points? I'm gonna show you this thing in action. The first thing that I'm gonna show you is just cutting something that's a little bit wider, like a sheet of plywood. So I'm going to adjust my fence. I wanna make a cut and preserve maybe 12 inches of this material. I'm locking it, I'm making sure that everything is in the right place. So we're gonna use something like this today. We're gonna protect our lungs, we're gonna protect our ears. I'll turn this on. Okay, see how I waited for the blade to stop? I kept the material tight up against the fence, and now you've got your really wide, long cut. Whew. And now I'm gonna show you how I rip down and miter my board. Now I know that part of the hardest thing about these projects is knowing where to source your lumber. I like to get mine from 84 Lumber. I go in, they help me with every step of the process. They deliver my boards. I can call them, ask them questions. They're super helpful, and I love having it delivered right to my house. Okay, so I want this board around 3 inches, so I want to rip off half of this material, but I also want to cut it at an angle. So I'm going to unlock my angle. I'm going to turn it to 45, say I'm building a beam, but I'm also going to bring the blade up so that it's high enough to go through my material, and we're ready to go. Wait for the blade to come to a complete stop. So now we have a long cut. It's at an angle. That's so cool. And that's it. Now you know how to use a table saw and how to use it safely. Now remember, this is a big, powerful tool, and safety is the most important with it. So familiarize yourself, get comfortable, be safe, and I can't wait to see what you end up making. And for other tutorials and projects that I've done, make sure to check out the description and I'll list some of them below. I hope you found this helpful. Make sure to like, subscribe, and let me know if you have any questions down below in the comments.